Hi, everybody, and welcome to the show. This is Ronda Cobb, the Money Coach. And before we get started on our topic for today, which is a very important topic, and I know you are really going to want to take some notes. So while you're grabbing a piece of paper and a pen or pencil, let me remind you that if you have any requests, you can send me an email, rcmoneycoach@gmail.com. And of course, we want you to visit the new website and give us feedback. What do you like? What don't you like? Is it clear? Is it concise? Do you like the pictures? All that stuff, because it's important that it's actually user friendly. The old one's not so user friendly. That's why it got updated. So that's at rcmoneycoach.com. And while you're there, you can sign up for the improved Forget You program. It's awesome for 2020. So onward now. So here we are in an election year, and all is merry and bright. The pundits are stalking without a bit of fright. Blame is assigned and reassigned at will, and pardon my bluntness, but it's starting to get harder and harder to swallow their swill. Now, I hope you're laughing with me on this little page out of my poetry book, but I needed to get that off my chest. Recently, I read an article about how Social Security disability benefits are going to be cut in the next decade. And the author claims it is the current administration's fault. Now, I'm not going to be political, and I hate to be factual, and I don't want to pull the rug out from under his article, but they announced that it was going to be more difficult to get and to continue to receive SSI and SSDI in March of 2016. You know, almost 4 years ago. That predates the current administration. Sorry to ruin your little article and post with the facts, but it was 4 years ago. And I remember it very, very well because I did a live seminar that month, and I announced it during the live seminar about how things were going to change. And one of the attendees said, "Oh no!" really quite unexpectedly and loudly in the middle of my presentation. So I can assure you it was in 2016. But that article did serve to remind me that I have not reminded you of updates and information regarding your Social Security and retirement planning in quite a few months. So now today we're going to rectify that. Everybody needs updates and reminders on a regular basis, especially on something as important as your retirement planning and or your Social Security. And of course, you need those updates from someone who knows the answer and did the factual research. I get so tired of the rumors or hearing, well, my neighbor said this, or I read that on Twitter. Read all the twits you want or tweets or whatever they're called. But when it comes to your money and your retirement, get the facts and only the facts. You simply cannot rely on television ads, Facebook ads, Twitter, or the card table at the club for concise information. So let's review some of the information about Social Security and Social Security disability so that we can ease your panic. If you are already on SSI or SSDI, then you can be sent a letter from Social Security requesting what's called a continuing disability review. Now, this is where they evaluate your situation and see if you still meet the medical requirements for SSI or SSDI benefits. Now, to some people, this may sound unfair on the surface, but it really is quite fair. I say that because you don't have to look too far to see someone who is not like you. Someone who might have managed to get on SSI or SSDI on the benefit train there without carrying a legitimate ticket. And if you are truly disabled and you have the medical records to support your level of disability, you should anticipate that you will be fine. My clearest advice to you is to be sure you and your doctor fill in the forms clearly, concisely, and quickly before the deadline that you are given. If you need help, seek it immediately upon receipt of the request. These things are time sensitive. And the other thing I will say, because someone mentioned it to me the other day, was, oh gosh, I haven't been back to my doctor in quite a while. Everything's going fine. I haven't gotten worse. I haven't gotten better. If you do not keep in contact with your doctor, your medical records will not continue to support your Social Security disability payments. So if they just do a simple records check, you could get a really nasty gram based on the fact that you haven't been seen in the last 6 months. So do at least check in with your doctor and get updates just on occasion for the simple fact of making sure that your situation is documented in your medical record. That's your responsibility and part of the responsibility of receiving Social Security disability benefits. I do kind of hope, though, that they weed out enough of the people that got on the benefit train without their ticket actually being legitimate so that they can be better able to care for those who are eligible, truly medically eligible. And remember, if you don't qualify for Medicare by virtue of being on Social Security disability, unless you meet other criteria as well, um, because you haven't been on Social Security disability long enough, you might qualify for Medicaid. But the only way you can find out if you do is to check with your individual state. So if you're finding it difficult to pay your medical bills because you're on a limited income, make an appointment and go and find out if you qualify. Now, I'm going to move on quickly to regular Social Security and retirement due to limited time. But if you need additional help, be sure to email me or call me for a personal appointment. Next, we're going to cover some of our sources of retirement income, the retirement income realities and risks, and some Social Security facts that you may not be aware of or you might be overlooking. Regardless of where you are in the cycle of retirement, accumulating retirement funds still working, retiring or just getting ready to retire, or you're in the distribution phase, which means you're already retired and you're starting to live off of retirement funds. You may have some outstanding questions or concerns, and I'd like to address those right now. Traditionally, there are three sources of retirement funds: Social Security, your pension or retirement plan from where you used to work or where you currently work, and your personal retirement savings plans, your IRA or other qualified account, and your non qualified accounts, just regular savings. The realities of retirement income are kind of, you know, sometimes they're kind of tough to digest, but here they are. When Social Security was created, according to Social Security, it really was not meant to be your entire easy for me to say, your entire retirement income. It was really only meant to be about 35 to 40%. And honestly, it does not pay out that well that you would want to retire and rely on Social Security for all of your income. Now, pension plans are getting more scarce as time goes out. In 1998, almost 60% of companies still offered a pension plan. By 2014, only 7% of the Fortune 500 still offers a pension plan, and only 24% of companies overall. That was in 2014. Now we're in 2020, and you can imagine that the numbers have reduced even more. You add into that the fact that people aren't staying at the same job for 25 and 30 years. So you really need to do what in order to have some money in addition to Social Security when you retire? Yeah, you need to have your own retirement plan. We're going to get to that. But the next reality is most people don't adequately plan for their retirement savings. Did you know that 39% of people spend more than 5 hours planning a vacation? Of course you do. I mean, 5 hours is nothing, right, for planning a vacation. 50% of people spend more than 5 hours researching a car purchase. And get this, how many people spend more than 1 hour planning their retirement? Only 33% of people. One third. What? What? That's crazy. We've got to get these numbers switched around. We need to spend more time planning our retirement and budgeting accordingly during our peak earning years so that we can retire and do fun stuff like vacations and drive cute little hot cars. Now, here are some risks to the retirement income as we now know it. In fact, if something good does not happen soon, Social Security payouts could conceivably be reduced as early as 2024 because somewhere, someone, no names being mentioned, the U.S. Congress, oh, sorry, no names being mentioned, got a little sarcastic there, borrowed from Social Security and they haven't repaid that yet. So Social Security funds are quite possibly going to be in short supply after 2034. The other thing that's a risk is market volatility, and this can definitely affect pension plans and retirement plans. Between 2000 and 2015, if you recall, there were two major market drops. In 2000 to 2002, the market took a drop of about 49%. 2008 to 2009, it fell another 57%. You could see that if you were ready to retire in 2009 and you were relying on market based savings, but the value dropped by 57%, you could conceivably still be working today in order to try to make up for that. So you want to be very, very careful about how you have your funds arranged. Because if the market drops early in your distribution phase or just the year before you plan to take your distribution, it could seriously limit your overall success. Now, you can hedge against these risks by diversifying or changing your investment choices inside your active plan. And I have a little kind of a thing where I do it by age. If you're this old, you should be this conservative. But that's me. That's how I do it. You have to do what's comfortable for you. You have to manage within your own tolerance level for risk. Then the other thing that can affect your retirement income, of course, is inflation. If prices are rising rapidly, but you're not making great interest on your funds, this is inflation and it affects your purchasing power throughout retirement. This is why when you enter into retirement, you should try your best to have a paid for car and a paid for house. This will limit your exposure to the effects of inflation. And the second thing you need to do is start with more than what you think you're going to need. It's like remodeling your house. Okay, I have a budget of $20,000. Yeah, that's up until the moment they find something they didn't expect behind that wall you're taking out. So you need to start with a little more than you think you need when it comes to